if you could combine SQL's powerful querying with Python's data analysis and visualization into a single workflow. In this video, I'll show you how to read SQL databases into Pandas, analyze the data, create graphs, and even write your modified data back into a database. So, to start off, we need to import SQLite 3 in order to let us use SQL inside of Python. We are going to be taking the SQL into Python with Pandas. So import Pandas as PD. Now let's get the database we're going to be using. This is with connection equals the database's connection variable equals SQLite3.connect. Then we put in our directory to the database we're going to be using. In this case, it is trades.db inside of my Python SQL folder. Now that we have our database linked, let's write some SQL. So let's do a SQL query just like before. Inside of a variable called query, this is where we would normally put a result into a table. So inside of speech marks, let's do our SQL, select asterisk from share price tables, and then we can do our normal SQL like filtering, where trade time is greater than March 1st, 2025 after 9:40. Let's run this query now. So this query will display a data frame. So let's store it in a variable filtered df equals then pandas pd.read SQL. Now given the brackets the query we just wrote, followed by the connection to the database the query will be for. Print this data frame, and now we can see that we have pulled the database from the SQL, and now it is being displayed as Pandas data frame. Great, so that's the basics. So just an example now that we can put in any SQL and manipulate it just as if it was an SQL file. So let's take a query in speech marks now. If you have watched my previous videos, we could figure out what this does. So let's just go through it. We are taking in the columns trade time and share price change from the table. Now making a window function of the rank of all the trade times. So it will give us the rank of lowest to highest trade time. This will be in a new column called trade rank. Further from that, a new column. This will be our rolling sum using the window function once again. This will take the running sum up to the current row. Great. So once again, we can run this query with df2 equals pd.read SQL, and then in our new query and connection to the database. So we can now use this new Pandas data frame obtained from SQL, and we can plot it, for example, in Matplotlib with normal Pandas structure. df2 trade rank, df2 rolling sum, the names identified in the SQL query. And now we can compare them with a Matplotlib graph. So having a look at this graph, we can notice a positive correlation between the trade rank, which is basically just indexing ordered to the time recorded, and the rolling sum showing that this running share price change progressively becomes more positive, so the stock is doing well. One useful thing, we can use the .describe in Pandas to easily get all types of stats from our SQL database. Then we can see here really combining the functionality of Python and SQL. Finally, what about adding to an SQL database data that we have obtained in Python? Well, we can do this too. Let's just concatenate this into our SQL data frame. We have a new data frame with new trade times and share price changes. Then we can concat the data frames together. The filtered df from earlier, and then our new data frame, all into a new variable called concatdf. Now, how do we place this into an SQL? Well, we use the new concat data frame .toSQL, then brackets, and we then place in the name of the new table we will create from this data frame. Concatenated share prices, then the database it will be sent to. connection from earlier. If this table already exists, replace it, and then index equals false. We will not need the indices to be labelled here, but if said yes, then we can use index_label to label them. So now when we run it, we can go to the trades database, and now we have a new concatenated share prices table with values of our new data frame on the end. Then that is everything for this video. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to support the channel, and I hope to see you in another video.